Welcome to the Mayor's Table. I'm Mayor Tommy Roberts, and joining me once again is City Manager Rob Mays. One of the issues that I hear a lot about as we are dealing with constituents in the City of Farmington is the traffic congestion on East Main. That problem has been the subject of much research and investigation and planning over the last 8 to 9 years. And Rob, recently we had a report from staff regarding a program and a system that has been in operation for about 18 months. Tell the people about that system.
Yeah, well, let me first make a statement about East Main traffic. I love East Main traffic because it represents a vibrant community with a lot of retail activity going on. And I recognize, though, that does cause an inconvenience to our citizens, but we need that economic activity, and it's important that we welcome our guests into town. But having said that, as you said, it's probably the number one complaint maybe that we got. We had studies done over the course of years looking for ways to physically expand. You know, can we add more lanes? We did a few things like adding a second turn lane at 30th Street. We added a second lane turning off of East Main onto Sam's Club, and that did increase capacity. But at the end of the day, there were limitations, and the only real thing to turn to was technology.
One of the things that was discussed as a process of that study was feasibility of frontage roads.
Yeah.
And as you look at that area, you almost realize intuitively that there was no room to build frontage roads. So that was an option, sounded good on the surface, but really had no feasibility to it whatsoever.
Yeah.
So the way we have addressed that is through the system called an adaptive signal study.
Yeah. So we applied for a federal grant to be a location to test a program called the InSync Adaptive Signal Control Technology. What it does is essentially you think in terms of a dumb signal versus a smart signal. We for years have had sensors in the road or even camera-looking sensors that try to read certain elements of traffic. But what these do is it takes the 11 light corridor in Farmington on East Main. I'm just going to kind of read from the report on some of the things we shared with the council from Hutton Avenue to English. And all 11 of those lights now work synchronized together through intelligence that the cameras are reading what's happening at every intersection and then planning for and optimizing is really the key, optimizing every traffic signal rotation in the traffic. So it literally can look at the intersection and say, okay, there's one car sitting here left. I've got time to let this car go without stopping this group of cars coming down the road. It's making those kinds of decisions to optimize the lower the weight and decrease the efficiency. And it's really pretty incredible results statistically that it's produced.
And we do have some objective analysis of the impact of putting this system into operation. Do you have some statistics there that would illustrate the improvements?
Yeah, we do have some statistics, and they almost sound too good to be true, to be honest with you. Because if there's, say, a wreck or construction, you might still have a time that you're stuck in traffic, and that may be the experience you remember. But the fact is, on the cumulative basis, we're able to measure all of the delay time on a cumulative basis for all cars. So to give you some examples, travel time from one end of the corridor to the other was improved by 16% in terms of overall time it takes to get through the corridor. The average speeds were able to go up by 18%, and that's within the speed limits. So that, again, we're measuring the cumulative less delay. Delays overall were improved by 73%. So cars in total are wasting 73% less time. The number of stops has improved by 63%. Put that in some context. The average stop before we put it in, you stopped 3 times in that corridor, and you went very slow during it. Now, on average, you stop 1 time.
Well, those numbers are impressive from a statistical perspective. One of the things I'm concerned about, though, is whether those who are using that corridor are perceiving improvement.
Yeah.
Have we had any input from citizens?
Yeah, we have. The input we've gotten is people seem to be at least anecdotally recognizing it's much better. Because again, once something starts to improve, you forget, and we don't want any delays. And so it's easy to forget how bad that it used to be. But the fact is, we've had a lot of people that we've asked staff to drive it a lot and to give us anecdotal evidence. But I can tell you personally, since we put this in 18 months ago, in my office, I've not received one complaint about East Main. And in the report that we gave to council, it sounded like elected officials had similar experience.
And I think it's important for those of you who are tuning in here today that this is an application that has relevance in other parts of our city as well. We have other areas that are congested in real terms as well as by perception. And I think it's important to note that the council has indicated that we'd like to see this system put into place and operated on 20th Street from Butler all the way to East Main Street. And I'm looking forward to that as well. 20th Street is highly congested. There are a number of commercial businesses that front on 20th Street with a lot of curb cuts and number of entryways, access to and from businesses. So we're looking forward to the point in time when this system can be installed and is operating to better control traffic flow on 20th Street as well. Rob, thanks again for being with us. This will conclude this session of the Mayor's Table. We hope that this has helped to give you some insight on the traffic congestion issues on East Main Street. We'll look forward to seeing you again.